Hello, welcome to episode 153 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And every single week, Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to take all of the various issues that life throws our way and we put them in a concert with both Counting Crows and Dashboard Confessional fans, and we make them fight to the death. And our issues don't know what to do. They're like, do I identify with this older band, that Mr. Jones and me, or do I scream about the infidelities that we all have to deal with all the time? So our issues have to deal with all that drama. And while we get something done, most recently we've been working on a supernatural action horror comedy comic called Deathless. We're on issue number 2. Steven, you sent me some colors. We've been working on coloring this book. We're getting really close to finishing it. You sent me some shades in like with the lighting effects and stuff. And holy crap, this book is so good.
I love like low lighting because like you can really like throw some like dark shading in there to really bring like the atmosphere onto those pages. I knew those pages were going to have that atmosphere from the get-go. That's why there wasn't a lot of background detail.
Yeah.
But yeah, those torch pages look awesome. So
oh my gosh. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't read our first book, first of all, there's time. You can do it. We have a whole website and everything. While you're here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It does help us out. But go to www.wehaveissuespodcast.com. You can order our first book. You can order Deathless or Play It Again, any of the books we've been working on, get stickers and all that stuff. But this second book is looking so good. It's one of those things where it's like, Stephen and I have always hoped, we're working toward growing this like kind of perpetual passive income through the comics that we make as we're making them. It's like, oh yeah, issue number 1, it's always going to be available for people. So hopefully people keep showing up and they like it. And then we're going to have issue number 2. And then hopefully those people keep showing, people keep showing up. And our audience for the books has been growing. And I feel like the closer we get to the end of this thing, the more confident I am that we're right about that. The audience is going to keep growing. So I'm like, this book is way better than the first one as far as like visuals are concerned.
Absolutely. And there's like the first one does like we've said before, it's a lot of setup and stuff like that. But the second one is definitely more into the action sequence and following through with like that, like him hunting down the Stone Keepers now.
Yeah, I thought that was important. I like the first book needed a lot more.
I still feel like you did a really good job like balancing the first issue though. I mean,
I think it has a good amount of comedy and stuff. Like one of my friends on Twitter, Scout, read issue 1 recently and like was telling me like that she thought it was really funny and all the stuff. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm so glad people like this book. But yeah, so I feel like, but issue 2, I really wanted to focus on like some action stuff where you get to see the character start recognizing what his role in all of this is and what he's going to do and how he handles it versus how the thing inside of him handles, the spirit that's, controlling his body handles it. And it's interesting. And I think like, I'm really excited to get to issue 3. It's going to get real interesting and really weird.
Issue 3's I feel like we accidentally did like that cool like marketing thing where we introduced Barreled on like one page of issue 1 and then we just like no word of Barreled for like an entire issue and a half, and now it's like the next issue is going to be the Barreled Mary issue, I'm assuming, right?
No. He's
it's M.
It's M. Yeah. So, but he is in it. But Barreled is going to be in issue 3. But issue 3 is more M focus.
Oh, that's awesome. So like you're really pushing the Barreled.
Barreled will be in it though. I don't want to spoil a bunch of stuff that you're going to see Barreled in issue 3 for sure. But there's going to be some cool backstory stuff and some some fun stuff. Issue 3 is going to be really cool and like we get to learn a little bit about the world, and I'm excited for that. And then
awesome.
And then Barreled stuff. But yeah, dude, this book is looking really good. I can't freaking wait. So I'm excited. We're still looking for a couple people to send us their references, I think, as far as the we don't.
I was going to say, yeah, and that's like that's what I kind of wanted to work on this coming week anyway. Was some of those like I want to get as you can see some of the colors I sent you. There's like a blank face there where I didn't want to put the face in yet, but so yeah, I do want to get that done this week. I think is my goal with the colors too.
How did you do this week with the coloring? Do you feel like you did?
I think I did like 4 pages actually.
Yeah,
like I know I had texted you on the side saying I wanted to finish it, but like honestly, I'm making way better time on the obviously way better time on the coloring than I did with the art. So
I mean, your shading your shading flow has been way on point.
Oh yeah, like awesome. I can literally like if I had to grind it, I could literally finish it in 1 week. If I really like just made myself sick. But like yeah, it's not nearly as intensive as like drawing the pages, but yeah, like I that's I think we need to wrap that because then we can get the digitals out and that's gonna be sweet.
Yes. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I did not get as much stuff done this week as I wanted because I was hit with an allergy situation.
Yeah, I was reading about them.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was hit with like for those of you who've been watching our show for a while, you know that occasionally it happens to me. Steve and I both kind of suffer from these allergies. But like
Mm-hmm.
I get this thing where it's like if it hits me really hard and it'll just happen like throughout the day. At some point, it'll happen, and I'll tell you, I can't. I Atlas was hanging out with me and he was doing this thing where he was like being playful and like threatening to put his finger in my nose. And I was like, bud, don't do, I was like, I have really sensitive sinuses. I don't want to inflame any of this nonsense. And he was like, haha, and literally just went, and I was like, and I did not expect him to do it. I was playing a video game with him and I was just like, I did not expect it. And I was like, oh, and then it was just like it opened the floodgates. Like he poked a hole in the dam that was there.
It cuts to like 30 minutes prior, him just like stroking a cat with his finger, yes! Just like getting all the oil from the cat on that
whatever
finger.
just all the dander, any kind of allergen he can find, all bacteria in the world. So, and I don't know, maybe I don't know, but it did seem very much like that was just the button that just like it opened the floodgates, and from that moment on, the entire day. It was just it nonstop. I did the thing where I put my tissues in my nose. I took allergy medicine and I took Mucinex and I took like vitamins and I'm trying to like drink as much water. I did all the things that I do to try to.
We had a deal. I paid the price.
But dude, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Like I couldn't do anything. It got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I called off work the next day on Monday. I was just like, I'm so sorry. I literally haven't breathed. Like I haven't had a breath. I would like, please, sir, may I have a breath?
A single breath.
A single breath. A sliver.
Through half of a nostril. I'll take it. Just
so it was just like, dude, it was just like that. And then the next day, it was bad in the morning. Like in the morning, it was like recovery, and then it was fine.
See, I'm fortunate. I don't get those like runny nose allergy attacks. My allergy attacks are typically like top of the chest, like anxiety. That's like when I'm having allergies. It's like that too. The sinus pressure. Yep. Nasal spray does help, but I think when I nasal spray, it gives me that anxiety. That chest anxiety, that steroid anxiety. So there's just no winning right now, though. Like it's the Saharan dust too. I always say it, but when the skies are beautiful, it's a twofold. Yep, that's Saharan dust, man.
It's conspiracy time about
it messes me up whenever I'm like, oh, I feel weird, and Tina's like, yeah, me too, and I'm like, Saharan dust. Yep, there's a plume. Is the sky orange and purple? It sure is.
Sahara. No, you're totally right though. Like it's there is something, and it's funny because like I told my mom about my allergy attack, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I saw these specific flowers in bloom, and I just knew you were gonna have that kind of day." I was like, "Oh okay." Sounds like witchcraft, but
the lilacs are here.
No, but like I've just had so aside from that, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to get stuff done. And I was like, oh wait, tonight's and then so I started feeling better, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's my son's open house tonight. So I had to go to the school and meet my son's new teacher, right? And I go, and I know I'm not the only one going through this. Like especially like you have kids.
Mm-hmm. We went
similar age,
one on yesterday too.
And so, dude, Atlas has not had a single just consistent normal year of school ever in his life. Like literally
this dude has no idea what it's supposed to be.
He doesn't know what it's supposed to be. He went to VPK. In VPK, it was the start of COVID. They canceled VPK like toward the end of his VP. Like he didn't even get like a good job, guys. Like you did it. Congratulations on graduating VPK. They were just like, we're closing on the school. Everyone, there's a virus thing. And we're all like, we're all gonna die. What? It's crazy. And then like the next year, he was in virtual school. And then the year after that, he had two different, like he had a teacher, and then his teacher got shipped off to another school and he had a different teacher. And then that same year, they moved half of his student. They just kept doing the thing where they're separating the kids because of the COVIDs and and all this stuff. And it was just like, so he kept losing friends and all this stuff. And then last year, he went to school. His teacher, he loved his teacher. It was his favorite teacher. And then within a couple of months, like it was like 2 months into school, she was sent to a different school. Again, this happened to him. And then the teacher that replaced her was someone like a Trundle. What's her name? From
Oh, Miss
Matilda?
Trunchbull.
Miss Trunchbull. Yeah, it was like a Miss Trunchbull type where it was like just like terrible. She's like, oh, and like the first thing she said to him,
I'll
like,
throw you in the
yeah,
chokey.
it was like, I'll throw you in the chair. It was essentially that. It was like, I came from third grade. I know this is a second grade class, but I come from third grade. So you better be prepared to do third grade work. And my son's like, why? Why?
Why would that be what happens in my second grade year?
Yeah. So, and it was just like that whole situation. So we go into school. And I'm like, and it's a whole mess. It's a whole cluster cuss and nonsense going in there and trying to figure out who the teacher is. They tell us the wrong room. We go to the wrong room. We're like, hey, do you have this one? They're like, no, I've never heard of that name before in my life. And I'm like, do you want him? Because you can take him. We get like, if you seem nice, if you're going to be here all year, like, let's do this. And they're like, so we eventually found the class. We get in the class and his new teacher is very, very pregnant. Like,
oh no,
100% pregnant. And I'm just like, this means she's going to disappear at some point. Hopefully not indefinitely, but it's just like, can you just have some consistency? Can you just
give this kid something?
And you never know. You never like it could go either way. It could go, maybe he won't like her. And then she did say, to her credit, she seems like she has a whole plan in place. Like she's very smart. She seems nice. She has a plan for a long-term substitute, so it's like someone's gonna be there the first day of school. They're going to stay there. She's going to leave and they're just going to remain until she comes back. And like, this is cool, but how do
Poor Atlas.
Poor Atlas, So I'm just like, so I'm dealing with that. And then I had to go school shopping. Did you do you get all your school shopping and all that stuff done?
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy like what they expect you to give them. Like this isn't even my kids' stuff. Like this is stuff I'm buying for your classroom.
It is very weird. And like, and I like, I'm sure you agree, like, first of all, they should pay teachers more. Why don't they? It's ridiculous. Second, why are they making teachers pay for all the stuff that they need to teach the students?
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. If you need dry erase markers, the school should provide dry erase markers. I'd like to see that itemized budget, please, because I'm sure you can afford some freaking like dry erase markers. It's crazy. And like they're like, oh, every student needs to bring 2 boxes of tissues and 2 boxes of black dry erase markers. I'm like, why? Every student needs 2. Do you know how many tissues that is? That's a crazy amount of tissues.
Dude, you know they're selling those dry erase markers back onto the market. Like they have a surplus of dry erase markers.
That black market. The black marker it.
Black marker it. That's definitely one of the episode like headlines right there. But yeah, like because like my kids' classes have 24 kids per class, and if each one's buying a box of black dry erase markers,
that is too many.
A lot of markers.
So, dude. So yeah. So I was going through all that, and I was just like, oh, I guess I'll spend $1 billion and do all this, and then also, and it's just like it's just been a crazy week. But you know what I did, Steven?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did? I did it last week as well. I bought a ticket for the lottery.
Oh, really?
Bought a ticket for the lottery last week. I bought a ticket for the lottery, and I was like, I'm gonna win the lottery. I'm gonna guess these numbers. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna magically guess these numbers. I'm gonna get them right. I'm gonna do this. Someone does, and like, because I could talk myself into it. I'm like, someone has to win, right? Like, someone has to win. It can't be. It could be fake. It could be a conspiracy where there's gives us the free money, and then like you never.
And then no one real wins.
No one real wins. It's just like some like like. Yeah, like Mike Sherwood and whatever, and just they make up a sure, that could be the case. Probably not the case though, right? Like the easier thing to do is just be like, we're going to take a huge chunk of this money all the time. Like they get, I mean, that's an easy way for the government to get money. So I was like, someone's going to win. So I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Why not? I'm going to win. I have so many things I do if I won, right? So last week I guessed the numbers and I got 2 of the numbers and the mega ball. And I was like, I need 5 numbers and the mega ball. I got 2 of them.
I got 2 out of 5.
I was like, I'm getting there. I was like, I'm getting close.
This is like part of my Rocky montage. This is like the montage of tickets.
That's me. I'm up there. I'm running up those stairs. I got up 2 stairs now. I got a few more stairs left, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna build a colony. So my question to you, Steven, is when we have $1 billion, what do you want to buy? Now, my question is, what are you gonna do with it? What are we gonna do with $1 billion? But I'm gonna put a very simple like moratorium. Like I'm gonna say, we're gonna assume all of our friends are taken care of, all of our loved ones are taken care
Mm.
of, like Jackson and like our family and like
Sean,
Dawn and all
Dina.
Dina and all this, like all of the peoples, our colonist friends are like loved and taken care of, and we have $1 billion, so we have plenty to go around. We're gonna do the
So
best.
yeah, I mean, and how we would easily solve that is just building the compound finally and
100%.
buying enough land for farm and everything.
Yeah,
Honestly, we probably just talk to Chris and just see if we can buy acreage around what he's already got going,
that's
and we
true.
just expand the colony in
I don't see why we
California.
wouldn't do that. Oh my
Why
God.
wouldn't we do that? He already has the wherewithal to show us what we need to do. So besides that, I think the first logical thing to do would be to make a movie, right? I mean, like produce our own script, pay some writers like really well. Like
Writers,
I was just trying to be cool.
Steven, I've never felt more insulted my entire life.
Well, we need like a boardroom of writers.
Oh, you're talking about like a TV show. Okay.
Yes.
So, like, I'm with you. Okay. This is what we're gonna do then. I'm with you. Okay.
Like I want to sign like a good contract. Like I want we're gonna like start.
It's gonna be me.
We're resetting it. Yeah,
me, you, Steve,
Dina.
Arena,
Oh yeah, Stevie Ray for sure. Lee Newman.
This is my I know for a fact these people would be amazing at writing a TV show with us. Like that's like I've thought about that, where I was like, you know what? Okay, so I was actually thinking about this before. Let's do a quick like pitches get stitches, actually. Let's do it. Like because that's what we're gonna do. So let's hit me with a song. Hit me with a song.
It's that time of the day where we got some pitches that might need just 1 or 2 stitches to make that idea come to life. I don't know what to
pitches, good stitches. It was amazing, just like every other time. I'm glad we did it just so I could hear that song again. So I want you to imagine, right? It's kind of just like every other project. It's Steven and I against the world, right? But like this time, I play someone who's down in his luck, can't really is a little bit of a like let's just imagine me, but like less ambitious, like not wanting to make anything, not wanting to do anything, just kind of like coasting, like I have the like just like low level retail job, but don't really care. Maybe I would work in a call center or something, like I just like I'm not doing anything to make my life better or anyone else's life better. So much so, in fact, that I'm living on my friend's couch, right? Like I just live on my friend's couch, and my friends are like they're trying to be nice, but it's like on the cusp where it's like they just got married and they're having kids and they're trying to level up their adulthood and like live a dream together. Mm-hmm. I am kind of like that like chain around their foot of like the past, just kind of holding them back a little bit. Where it's like you want to help your friends, but you also don't want them to hold you back so much. You have to be able to move on and grow, and you want to help them. But what are you gonna do?
We gotta fly. We gotta fly together. But
exactly. So at some point they're like, okay, we're gonna go on a date. You stay home, watch the baby for us. We appreciate it. We don't ask you for rent or anything. Just do this one thing for us. Let us have a date night. So they go out, and I, being irresponsible piece of garbage, just like make a mess of the house. I get drunk. Like I don't like I take care. I don't hurt the baby or anything, but it's one of the like
it's got to be light. It's not like
yeah. It's like it's silly, but it's like, oh my gosh, I did it horrible. Like so they come home from their date and like I'm like just passed out. There's like cans of beer and stuff. Like there's a big mess, And they're like, last straw. Like this is not gonna happen. You're getting out of our house, but we're gonna help you find like a place to go. So like they get online, they're like, okay, what can you afford? I'm like, literally nothing. I have no money at all. Can I afford, like, I can afford someone to pay me to live somewhere, And so they're like, okay, well, let's see if there are any like jobs available. So they find me a place, and it's a work for rent situation where like I go and I'm just like, oh, if you become this person's assistant, it's you get free room and board with the job. It comes, you're just a live-in assistant. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I could do that. And like thinking like, ha, I'm just gonna be a good for nothing, like kind of mooch and like just like live
off this person too.
Off this person, yeah, and it doesn't matter. So I go in and I go there and I sign, I sign the lease. I'm like, ha, sucks to be you. And I soon discover that this person is a literal demon, and I just signed away my life and my soul. And if I break the contract and if I don't work for this person and I break the lease, they get my soul. And if they break, if they break the lease, I get my soul back. So just be me trying to be a terrible roommate to get them to get me out of there while also working for a demon.
While also fulfilling all of the duties as said roommate.
Yes, exactly. So just be Steven probably as a demon trying to drive me crazy and make my life terrible, miserable, so I, lose, and me trying to make Steven's life miserable and just butting heads against each other, as a human, and it would be called Roommate from Hell.
Roommate from Hell. I love it.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh man, I think we can make that as like an animated series, and it would be so funny. Like we could.
Oh, for sure. Like that could. I can definitely. I mean, like there's so well. It just sets up that like that. What's that South Park mythology that he's talking about? Like when you're writing something, it's like this and then this happens. Then this. Like that's definitely one of those shows that has plenty of avenues for like moments to happen that lead to further. Like
and that's, you can even cut out the initial friends, but I think having the initial friendship that like would allow you to see like these people blossoming in a way, and him kind of like finding himself back in their good graces through what he experiences with the demon situation, so it's like, and it also gives him someone to talk to and like all of that. I wrote the pilot for this freaking thing, and I thought it was pretty funny. I could probably use a punch up. It's been a while since I've read it, but
yeah, I remember reading it with you, so I mean,
yeah,
talking like 10 years ago now.
Yeah, well, so about 10 years ago, I remember it was me and you and Mike, and we got together and we did like a whole read of this thing.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. But then like 2 years ago, maybe like 2.5 years ago, I rewrote it, and it's so much funnier now. And like it just works a lot better. I think it still needs a punch up, but if I had $1 billion, that's what's
getting made.
If we had a colony of friends who were all going to get together and write a thing, that's one of the things I'd like to do. Is that I'd also like to do like an anthology series where it's like a Tales from the Crypt thing, but like maybe like your Terry, like the dispatcher / mortician, situation. I think that would be really cool. But I don't know. I feel like you're right though. That's probably one of the things we would do is probably make movies, and
you'd have to, right? Create your own little production company, and then just
it would movies. It would be like movies. We could afford to make like more and better music. We could afford to make a whole publishing house for our friends and actually like produce more comics. We could make Ostrich Colony Comics and just be like a new
become the 2020s version of Image Comics, basically, and like kind of just start.
Well, yeah, and like whatever friend, and I know right now we do have like a weird thing with like Kickstarter and everything going on where like everyone kind of feels like every person for themselves, and it's just like and it works. Like right now, everyone it's just kind of like a pirate's life for all of us, where we're doing our best to just be like, hey, take my book, it's great, when we have a lot of friends with great books out there, like friggin' Steve Urena's book looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah,
Steve Urena's book, Foul Mouth, is on Kickstarter right now. It looks freaking awesome. So is Jeff Schiller's new book, The Elf. Elf. Yeah, dude, it looks like these books look so cool, and like I love that we make all these friends who are doing all these wonderful, like awesome creative things. But it's like, yeah, I would love to have our own little imprint, like our own way of, helping people just produce their books without having to worry about the overhead or whether or not their Kickstarter is going to succeed or whatever, like but $1 billion would of course do that for you. But that's, it's the dream, the literal dream. God. But yeah, I would love that. I would do freaking, I can't wait to win, Steven. I have my ticket. I mean, I'm going to find out in a few hours. I'm a billionaire. I'm going to cry for the next 3 months.
Another thing I would do if we had $1 billion is I would buy the like commercial rights to use the song. Dang it, I gotta buy the thong song too now, don't I? Because of that blunder. Cisco, you're getting some money too. But I would buy the commercial rights to Thunderstruck so we can make Daniel an epic commercial with the that's what I would do. And it would be Jar Jar Jinx. What the hell's happening over here? Jar Jar Jinx.
It would definitely be Jar Jar Jinx. Jar
Jinx can't sue anybody.
Jar Jar Jinx.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, dude. So I don't know. I'm hoping I win. If I do win, I'm gonna tell everyone. I'm not gonna be one of those people who like no one knows. You're all gonna know because I'm gonna talk about it on the podcast and be like, "Hey, Steven, we have $1 billion now." You're gonna see like we're gonna go from filming like this to filming just like this. Gonna be in a studio where we
It's
perfectly recreate this, like Wayne's World.
yeah, it's like if the cameras pull away, it's like
It's just green screen, but it's yeah.
it's
I
not our rooms, but it's our rooms.
Oh yeah, but you'll know. But dude, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Okay, so Steven, I feel like we're on the same page here with creating a colony and doing what we can and facilitating all the growth. I love that like our dream is just to do more of the thing we're doing now.
Yeah, it's just
like
to expand on this.
yeah, just like hey, what would we do with $1 billion? More. We're doing more of this because we like it. And I love that because like we do have this colony that we're building and we're trying really hard. And I'm so thankful for all of you, and we're so thankful for all of you. We love that you're here at all. And Stephen, because we do have people who we can count on to show up for us all the time, we do have a few questions from the colony.
Ooh, questions from the colony. It's questions from the colony. Everybody grab your bag of popcorn. It's questions from the colony. You grab your bag of popcorn. I don't know
why. What was that one?
Oh,
like, hey, are you guys tired? Did you hear the questions from the colony song? Obviously, we're not tired. We're not overworked at all.
We want popcorn not once but twice.
Oh, okay. So let me see. Let me wipe some of my tears. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right. Now that my nose is all red and I'm Rudolph. Okay. So I'm back from crying a little bit, but every once in a while we get questions from listeners, fans, friends, the people in our colony who show up to Twitter and just want to know some things. And we have a few questions today. Today we've been asked by Jamantha Jones, as kids, what did you both want to do for a living?
So like when I was really little, looking at my yearbooks, I would see like it was always animator. I don't know why it was animator specifically, probably because I didn't really know comics when I was really young.
Yeah.
So I just knew I wanted to tell stories with artwork. So I'm guessing animation was what made the most sense to me when I was that age. So I've basically been wanting to do this for a long time. And then once middle school hit and high school, I was doing like little like pass around comics at school. Like we'd draw comics up and like I'd pass them off to my friend Tommy and he would draw stuff and we would like create this world. So since I can remember.
Yeah, I very much went from wanting to be Gambit. Like that was like it was like cause that's like as a kid I wasn't like I want to be a fireman or I didn't even think I want to be a comic book like artist or anything. I was like I want to be Gambit. I want to be, Nightcrawler. I want to be, and I was saying, and then it was like I want to be oh wait, people, and then I watched like Evil Dead and I was like, oh, people make movies, like people do this. And I was like, I want to do that. And that was like the first thing I can remember like wanting to do was like I want to make movies because I realized, and then I read Madman when I got a little bit older, and I was like, oh my gosh, people make comic books, and I like not just like superhero stuff. I want to do this. So I went from like I really did go. I went specifically from wanting to be a cartoon character to wanting to like make movies. It was
just jumped from
And I used to like I did just like I would just draw all the time as a kid. Like that was just all I did. And, like my grandma used to give me like these little post-it notes and I would just make flip books like all the time with like people skateboarding and people like taking their heads off and throwing them at people, like all kinds of like silly stuff. And I just make these little movies and I was like, I want to do this. Okay, we have a question from Sean R. Frazier. He asks, who would win in a fight against a grape?
Against a grape?
Yeah.
Who would win?
Yeah. Okay, I have a better question, Steven. Aside from a child, aside from a baby, what situation can you imagine in which a grape wins a fight?
Well, the grapes of wrath. obviously have an advantage here because of their anger-filled juice blood.
It's very true, Steven.
I mean, that's obviously what that book was about. Who could defeat a grape, though? I can tell you one thing: my daughter Chase can smash an entire bag of grapes all on her own,
Oh yeah.
destroy them. But
So
as far as
yeah,
but grapes, you know what grapes could defeat? Dogs.
that's
destroys
true.
destroys their livers.
Good point.
It's a
Probably.
long con. I mean, they lose
Let me
ultimately,
ask
but
you. So I saw a shirt. Rob Schraub, one of my favorite creators, creator of Scud, Disposable Assassin. He made a shirt which was hilarious, and I loved it. And it was Willy Wonka Werewolf Hunter because dogs are allergic to chocolate. now, now I love it. It's a great looking shirt. It's amazing. I want it. I want it, but it wouldn't work, right? Like their only allergy is silver, right? I mean,
well, yes, and not to mention, you can tell me up and down that chocolate hurts dogs, but like my mom's min pin like 20 years ago ate an entire batch of my dad's fudge, and that stuff is as rich of chocolate as it gets, and that thing is like 2 pounds, and it ate 3 pounds of fudge. And it lived. So I don't, even if it is killing the werewolves, it's not killing them quick enough to matter, you know?
you imagine being that human? I mean, I don't know. I haven't read or seen anything that really gets into like the human aspect of werewolfism as much as I'd like, because like it's not like Superman. Like, Superman's just always built. He doesn't really have to work out. He's not going anywhere. And like, it's just the sun and the way his biological makeup is constructed. He just naturally, consumes and digests everything in a way that facilitates muscle growth, because it's a perfect system. It's like a machine.
I'm flawless.
I'm flawless. So like I imagine like maybe the wolf aspect would be like that, but the human side of it, it's just a human, right? It's just like I mean, immortal to an extent, like still supernatural, but like as far as like you're not just gonna have, you don't have a six pack just because you're a werewolf, right? Like those abs grow if your wolf has abs, but like are you affected by the stuff the werewolf eats?
So not, I mean, I don't feel like she is the information source of anything, but according to Stephanie Myers, I mean, it was very noticeable when Jacob and the wolf pack became part of the wolf pack and were no longer human.
Right.
Like they just suddenly like ripped. But I get what you're saying. Like standard operating procedure in like every werewolf movie I've ever seen is it's like lanky Londoner, and then suddenly he's just this ferocious beast. So I mean, it's not like it preserves it. So
yeah, so I mean, and I wonder if either side is affected. If it's like, if you have a heavy breakfast, is your wolf like freaking piece of crap? Why does he always do this?
Man, I'm bloated.
I'm bloated. I wanted to eat that guy. Now I'm not even hungry. I'm not even
avocado toast does not run the werewolf machine. We've talked about this. When you know a full moon is coming, you eat blood sausage.
You starve yourself and let me eat these villagers, dang it. Let's see. So, producer Sean, one of our best friends ever, asks, what's the most bizarre crossover you can imagine between a famous band and a horror movie franchise?
Creed and Paranormal Activity.
Okay, I mean, it's just like pulling him up the stairs. It's like, can you take me higher?
And then like the ghost is just like, I'm gonna kill you. What if I just leave? I'm just like,
hang on. Okay, this is stupid as hell, but I'm gonna say because it's the first thing that comes to my mind, Steven. The Spice Girls.
Ooh, like it already.
I'm gonna say Spice Girls and Wishmaster, so he can say, "Tell me what you want. What you really want."
We'll tell you what we want. What we really want. We want a Ziggy Zet. He's like, a what?
A what? How do I do this? I want to make it evil. Well, you got to get me with my friends. All of them at once.
This is impossible.
I mean, honestly, tossing the Spice Girls into like any horror movie franchise would be pretty funny. Just like,
I imagine it's just like Spice World 2, basically. Like it's just like whatever movie it is, it's just the continuation of the plot of that movie. It's just
okay. What's the movie? Because like recently, the Foo Fighters were in a movie that was like a horror movie. and it was like a demonic story and situation. What's another band that you think like would work in an existing franchise?
Like actually cool.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine
Okay.
and Saw.
The Machine. So that's amazing.
Yeah, like they're like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Yeah, it's like
I need you to leave the bathtub. But first, you have to reach into your stomach. Fuck you!
I won't do what you tell me.
They all die, just like credits.
Yeah, just like
Jordan Helsley asks, I need to know y'all's favorite ska tunes specifically.
I'm a basic bitch when it comes to ska.
Mhm.
Because I kind of like I went from like liking like my dad was really into like 90s and 80s hip hop. So I went from like 90s, 80s hip hop to like finally developing my own personality, which was
Right.
Blink 182.
Yeah.
That's like the first band I latched onto was Blink. I'm gonna be lame. It's gonna be like knock on wood. Like just
Not
like
okay.
all I
Money Boston.
yeah. What's the name of that song though? It's actually called something else.
The impression that I get.
The impression that I get. That's it.
But yeah,
Real Big Fish too. I remember
was gonna
from
say, I'm
basketball.
probably gonna say
They were
Really
fun
Big.
too.
Yeah, I mean the song "Beer" in basketball is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I love the "Take on Me" cover from Real Big Fish. It's so much fun. Like, I could listen to that like all day. I don't know, it's tricky because I used to love Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish. Let me think. I love Camerai. There was a like Japanese band. It was really cool. Yeah, probably
Anthony was much cooler than I when it comes to ska music.
I was just such a dork. But that was like my middle school. Actually, the only time in my life I've ever been like picked on was someone saw I had a bunch of bands on my back. I had like a bunch of like pop punk, like punk rock bands and ska bands, just like whiteout. Like I used whiteout and just wrote them into my backpack, and like with like little like MXPX and like all this stuff. And like these two older kids on my way home were just like, "What do you have written on your bag?" And they looked, and like it was funny because I remember like half of them, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man." Then they're like, "What is this? Ska? You like ska?" And I was just like, yeah, like get get out of here, man.
You know, he immediately started slapping his ankles and dancing right in front of him.
I started skanking in front of him. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "My only gifts I get from God. I don't know."
So ska and hardcore are very similar in the sense that they each had their own unique dance style with the ninja. I mean, like the ninja fighting, hardcore fighting, and
like you pick the grass and hardcore. Yeah. You know, but yeah, probably Real Big Fish. I like a lot of songs by them. I mean, Trendy is a classic song, but those songs. Let me see. Melissa Tyndall asks, this is our last question. Who would win in a fight, Ron Perlman or a ghost?
Ron Perlman was Hellboy, and Hellboy beats any demonic or ghost force. So, I mean, Ron Perlman wins just by looking at something, in my opinion.
Very true.
He's got a very like intimidating like stare. So,
I feel like, I feel like Ron Perlman could say boo to a ghost and the ghost would leave. Like,
and like he wouldn't even do it scary. He'd be all like, boo. And they'd be like, ah, like, and just run out. Yeah, like the beginning of Casper when like the Ghostbusters and everyone's fleeing the Casper house.
I can't believe they did that.
I gotta rewatch that movie. Maybe I'll watch it.
It was fun. I watched it. Yeah, it's real dark. Like they're just like it's really dark. They're like, oh, let's kill this girl's dad. Like her mom died. Let's kill her dad. Her dad's dead now. Our dad's dead. Not only is he dead, but he's just like he doesn't even really care about her because that's what happens when you become a ghost. Like who cares about anything? And it's just like, okay, this is too dark. Like this is crazy. And but it's a fun movie. It was pretty cool. I did think it was weird that like Devon Sawa plays like Casper, like the flesh bag Casper at the end, but he doesn't do the voice of Casper.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's How I Met Your Mother all over again. Really,
it's so weird that they do that. It's like,
why does Ted eventually sound like Bob Saget? I don't get it.
I mean, like the second to last episode of How I Met Your Mother should have been him getting in a horrible car accident and be like, am I gonna be okay? Why do I sound like this? Ted, we have bad news. Your body, your face, everything's been preserved perfectly. However, you sound exactly like Bob Saget now. Why? Science can't explain it.
Science can't explain it. You cross the streams, bro. You cross the vocal cord streams. I don't know how that works, but it says here that your shit's fucked up.
Oh man. All right, but those are all of our questions from the colony. If you have questions for us, go ask us anything you want below in the comments. You can also ask us on Twitter or X, whatever it is. Go over there at We Have Issues Pod and ask us, or on Steven and I, individual pages. And
Absolutely.
we're happy to answer whatever questions you have. Otherwise, Steven, every week we talk about what we're gonna do next. I know we're at the end of this project. What are you gonna do next? What are you doing this week?
I'm gonna continue pumping through the colors, hopefully get the rest or the majority of what's left done. I want to get the faces in too. So those are my goals this week. Lots of coloring and then the faces in is my goal this week.
Awesome. This week, I'm going to try to finish up the last couple pages I have to flat for you. And then I'm also going to send off all of the Kickstarter backer surveys. That's awesome. That's my big one. I'm going to send off all the backer surveys so we start getting all the information in again, and we're going to get prepared to ship the stuff off. I guess in addition to that, I'm also going to look into what stuff we have to order for those people. So we have stickers, we have prints, like some prints and some stuff. We do have some things that we have to get together for this, but I mean we're still a little ways off, but we are so close to finishing this book, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait. I'm hoping my goal. I'm sorry, my future goal, my short-term future goal is next week, not this week right now, but next week when Atlas goes with his mom, I'm going to try to get some lettering done, as much lettering as I can, I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm supposed to be going to New York next week, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, I'll talk more about that on our next episode. But that's all for this week. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, thank you. If you're only watching this on YouTube, go check us out on Spotify. At the very least, send us a follow. Give us a follow on there. We're trying to monetize on Spotify. I'll post the link below so you can find our page more easily if you just follow us on there. Share the link around when people maybe listen to a billion episodes that we have. But that does seem like the most probable avenue for monetization for us, at least in the short term, right now, because monetizing on YouTube is way more difficult. And we have a lot of very wonderful friends and fans and people who watch this show regularly, but it's so hard to get the watch hours that we need. We need 3,000 something, we need about 3,000 watch hours. We're getting about half of that, and it's just it's really hard to cross over that boundary. However, on Spotify, we don't need nearly that much. We just need a certain amount of plays, and you are all showing up to that effect already. So it's hopefully we can make it there, and it'll happen. And we'll get something coming, something coming in. Otherwise, but thank you very much for checking this out at all, and sticking around. If you haven't seen all of our episodes, we have so many episodes back there.
There's so many.
But I hope you're all excited for Deathless, as excited as we are, because I think this book looks freaking awesome. I wish we could share more with you right now, but it's a lot of spoilery stuff, and I don't, we really don't want to spoil anything. I'm gonna see what we can get so I can start putting some panel stuff up. Maybe I'll make a cool trailer for it or something, that's not too spoilery. But otherwise, thank you so much. We really do love you. We appreciate you. I'm Anthony.
I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And this has been We Have Issues. See you next time.
Boom.
What's up, dude?
What up?
Wait, Steven. Steven.
Yes?
Why does your hair look exceptionally beautiful today? What's going on?
It's day 2, baby.
No, this is. Caught you on a good day, huh? Yeah. Oh, I see. You don't think I see it? I know you see it.
I washed it yesterday. Usually I wash it before the podcast. And when I wash it before the podcast, it's flatter because it's still
a little wet. And
it's still recovering from the shampoo and stuff. But yeah, this is day 2. Day 2 is always the best hair.
Oh, this is 100% romance cover. What the hell? Not even fair, Steven. I'm gonna put someone else's head on your body. That's what I'm gonna say. You gotta tone it down, Steven. Take it down.
It's because of the way I do my bun too. I know it's not the right way, but what I do is I fold it. I fold my hair and then bun it, so it creates these waves in my hair naturally. And when I pull the bun out, it just works.
Just fresh out of the oven, all wavy and beautiful,
all gorgeous.
Oh, how's life? What's new?
Saw Dashboard.
Yeah, how was
That
that?
was fun. That was cool. Like I said, man, I can't explain it. Like I don't know if I'm spoiled from Coheed shows or if like,
No, dude,
but
I've been watching like even I've noticed it a lot on YouTube. I've seen it in the last couple of shows I went to, which I don't go to shows very often anymore, but like I've noticed it too. There is like a just energy difference and an attitude, like in a
it's so crazy different. And I
yeah,
mean, I think it was like for me, it was like the audience was like mostly like 50-year-olds, which is
yeah,
fine, but they didn't know who Dashboard was, which contributed to the low energy. But then it's just like I think it was the venue because like I said, man, like I couldn't even feel the drums in my chest. When
yeah.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah,
The
for
kick, the
sure.
kick drum should shake inside your chest whenever
Yes.
you're at a concert. Like in my
Well,
opinion, you know.
I want to feel like it's gonna murder me. Like I love
Yes.
the
I
music to
gotta
change
be like
my
on a
life.
borderline panic attack,
Yeah,
basically, from what's happening in my chest.
yeah.
From the
I want to like yeah. I mean, if my heart doesn't feel like that bass drum, I'm in the wrong venue. Like what's going?
yeah,
So wait, okay, so it's a bunch of 50-year-olds. What do you think the draw was for them?
Counting Crows, I
Is
guess.
that what it was?
I think it was like
Wait, I'm sorry.
Gen Xers, like probably Counting Crows, like 90s.
Which one was Counting Crows? Mr. Jones? Mr.
Yes, I
Jones?
know. I always mix up Blues Traveler and
Yeah,
Counting Crows
I almost
personally.
went the hook, but I was like, that's Blues Traveler, and then I was
Yeah,
like, but it's Mr. Jones, right? The
yes.
Mr. Jones,
And then Accidentally in Love. She
I don't,
said, "Hey, what's the problem, baby?
okay,
What's
I
the
think I know that.
problem?" And then it's been a long November. We left or long December. Well, early November was the band.
The band, yeah,
But we left after Mr. Jones because
yeah. We're gonna play Mr. Jones 6 times.
yeah, well, it was the third song in, and like you could tell dude hates playing that single big
Really, that's
time.
funny. You
Which I
know,
don't blame him. That
okay,
he's
I
it's
don't.
2023.
I get it. I don't blame him either. But you know what? Like, I feel like the classier, more fun move is to be like, listen, we're gonna open with this thing, also gonna close with this thing.
Yep.
Let's go.
We're Jones. We're sandwiching it with the Jones,
Jones.
baby.
It's a Jones. Yeah, and that's the Jones is the bread. You'll get the meat in between. We're gonna. That's where we're gonna slap our meat in between the Jones.
But yeah, Chris Caraba's voice. Chris Caraba, outside of owning a very successful Italian American eatery establishment,
Right.
uh, his voice is awesome. One of their new songs I didn't even know, like Tina, when we were on our way there, Tina was like, "I want." We were listening. I forget what song we were listening to, but one of those
Yeah.
very many Dashboard songs where he just holds a note for like
Oh
30
God.
seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of his new songs, I guess he does it, and he did it at the concert, and it was freaking awesome. Like he's so talented, and it made me so mad that people weren't appreciating it because like it's like,
Dude, I I felt that's like I'll tell you though, like I've been to both kinds of Dashboard Confessional shows. I've been to one where the whole crowd is singing along and
that's
it's
what I
just
thought it was gonna be,
and it was
because I
like
mean,
this is amazing. But then I've been to another one just like that where it was like I felt like I was the only like it was like me and like a couple people singing. I'm like, oh okay, is this what's going on? Okay, I thought we were all on board with this. Like
so the only uh unfortunate, um, so it was a seated place, so like we could have
yeah.
all just chilled, we could all stayed seated, but of course we were sat in front of us was the other Dashboard fans at the whole
So
venue,
they stand up.
and so of course we had to stand up too
Of
because of
course.
them. But I mean, they were great. They were like loving every second of it. So it was good to be around people that were,
Yeah.
at least we weren't personally surrounded by people that hated
That
Dashboard.
would be weird. Is yeah. Like, oh, the Dashboard people are here. It's like
Yeah,
the pros.
it's like they like sectioned us off or
Yeah,
something.
it's
Like
so weird. I don't.
the singer of the Counting Crows wants all you Dashboard folk over here.
I think one of the funny, like, I think the funniest thing about bands like Dashboard Confessional is like you're singing songs and like sometimes they age you too much. Where it's like we're not 21. I'm like, but the sooner we are. I'm like, I'm not. I'm way older than 21. I'm like, ooh, okay, I guess. It just. But that's how I feel like when I hear songs where it's like we're singing about how we're a teenager, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I was singing at one point. I was too young to sing this, and then I was the right age to sing it.
And now I'm just way too old to sing this.
I shouldn't be singing this anymore.
I'm tired, boss.
I need you to be.
I'm tired, Chris. I
I
can't
remember,
sing about being 21
dude,
anymore.
I'll never forget the first time. So I saw Dashboard Confessional with the Get Up Kids once,
Mm.
and I love both of those bands at the time. I was just like all about both. I was just like, oh my god, Dashboard Confessional, like Get Up Kids is gonna be amazing. And I walked by Chris Carrabba, and I've never been more disillusioned in my life by like, because you know when you like
Mhm.
really like someone's music or really like an actor or something, you imagine them bigger than the world, like as
Mhm.
tall as can be, like just like this like Adonis sort of like
And
you're.
unfortunately for us, we're both rather tall gentlemen. So
Yes, you know, and like, and look, there's nothing wrong. I don't care. You can be as short as you want. Like, you're a genius, and it's amazing, and like your songs are beautiful. I just didn't know. I wasn't familiar. I
I
didn't
was
know that Chris. I was not
he
prepared. I was.
wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.